All right, what is up, my people? We are live. We got me, Kyrese Clark, and then we got the one and only, the always handsome DC Soap Sanctuary. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be out of Clark Industries. I have been here for a while. By the way, I'm not freezing up, am I? Everything's
No,
going
yeah,
good?
freezing up.
Okay, good, good. So I'm
You're looking,
excited tonight. I'm
you're looking
excited.
awesome as usual.
I'm excited to talk 'cause this was a really good week for two of the shows.
Hmm.
Well, two and a half, if you count me, two and a
Okay.
half. Two and a half.
All right. Our first topic today is Doug the Third. Do you find Doug the Third to be a long-term character on Days of Our Lives? And more importantly, is he going to be a super couple with Holly Jonas in the future?
I think Doug the Third is like Javi is a character for the year. And it's very clear to me because Doug the Third doesn't have any clear thespian abilities. I don't see the acting there with Doug the Third. It just feels like a cute face that decided to become an actor. If I'm being honest. Um, I don't see the substance there. And him and Holly, they're not strong enough. I'm not invested in Doug the Third to be honest. I'm not. I don't know if it's the actor playing him, but I'm just not. I'm not there. What about for you?
I'm very much there for Doug the Third. But to be fair, because I've followed this actor around with other roles. Like he's had like plenty of Disney roles and plenty of other roles. So I've grown up with the actor, but I was never really
So you know his
attracted.
potential.
Yeah, I know his potential. He always usually does play the pretty boy type role, and I feel that Doug could have some range though, because I've seen like this. The actor certainly has the look to play
So you
like
admit he doesn't have range on days. So you admit.
yeah, yes. All right, fine, yeah, because I think on days they're just getting him started out, so it's gonna take
Mhm.
them a while to flesh him out, and because like we still don't know like what did he go to jail for? What did he go to jail for? Like,
Yeah, that part hasn't been clear yet, and
I mean, he claimed
he's
it was
he's his
evidence.
host's nephew for crying out loud. There's no connection there.
Yeah, we just have to flesh him out, but it doesn't have. But it happened. It helps his case that this actor is really attractive though too, because but he was. But you see, like in his other roles, I was never attracted to him growing up, in any of his other roles. But it wasn't when he stepped into the role as Doug the Third. He just brought something different to me because I could see like potential for this character. Like I could see him being like the new John Black eventually at some point. Like I feel it's there. Like he has
Are you
the
feeling the right things?
yes, I'm feeling the right things. He could definitely be that hero because like he won me over, especially when he didn't even want. He was willing to get beat up again to make sure Holly stayed back. He wanted to protect Holly. I'm like,
You know
okay,
what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the first Tate that the show had, and that Tate, it was like no personality.
no, 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 no. He ain't that like the other, like the
The
original
only
Ted.
difference is he's just cuter. That's about it. But there's no personality.
Well, the other Tate was kind of like a low budget Spencer Cassadine, if we're being fair. Like he came in with being a brat, like, but he don't even have money like that. So
And the new Tate was a very much an upgrade personality. We see like this guy
nah,
infused life
this
into the
new
role.
this new Tate doesn't work for me because he's like 30 years old, and he's
But
supposed to
did you
be
know
playing.
that prior? Did you know when he went into the role? Did you
Yeah,
know that?
yeah, I
I
knew
didn't know
that
that actually. I didn't know.
because, and then he played that squeaky voice. He's just a weak-minded guy that makes me absolutely sick. And then
But you
on
know,
top,
most soap characters that play older teenage roles are typically in their 30s.
hey Ron, how are you? And then Sammy says, I think Holly will fall for him. Oh, already, because I could tell she was over Tate the moment she saw him with his shirt off. That is when she was way over Tate. She was like,
Because if you remember watching One Life to Live, Cole, who was played by Brandon Buddy, was
mhm.
25 playing a 15-year-old on camera, and I think it's because of the kissing scenes. And
Yeah,
so if you have an adult doing that with a minor, it's very or two minors doing that, it's just very gray territory. and I think that's why they always have to be adults.
That's true, but he just doesn't do it for me. I don't know what it is. Like maybe it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like maybe because I consider him so beneath Sophia. Which speaking of, how do you feel about Amy Choi and Sophia? Because how I'm feeling about Amy Choi at first, I'm like, this woman, she's really attractive, but her attitude just sucks. Like, who we don't know her history. She's always on her high horse, ordering Tate and Sophia around. Talk about they need to get married. Like, I'm glad she backed off of that. I'm like, sister, this is not 1950 no more. Okay, there's a thing called baby daddy and child support. So, you could chill all that down. But like now, she wanted to talk about Sophia might not be able to go to college. I'm like, first of all, I mean, but then again, I don't know really what her and her father do for a living though, because they said they would help out with the baby, and Sophia has a 4.0 GPA, so I don't know what their financials is looking like, but Sophia should definitely be able to get a scholarship for something. Um,
I think the thing is with the storyline with Amy Choi when she came in, I think initially they were going to portray her as like this religious matriarch thing, and I was watching, I was like, I don't see that in Amy Choi, but I think the writers made sure we didn't see that because she didn't have that. She doesn't have that kind of like matriarch vibe. It's very like
you sure
milder,
don't.
and I think that was on purpose though. I thought it was on purpose because we're not meant to see her like that. Because to be honest, a lot of stuff that Amy Choi says is actually pretty rational. Not
This,
the marrying, not the two of the marrying part, but it's like we'll take care of the baby, we'll help you. So it's like, that sounds pretty rational to me. Like, okay,
and
that
she
makes a lot
like
of sense.
because I was kind of over. Like I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love Sophia, I was kind of over it when she said as soon as things said that she would help with the baby and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well then what are you still whining about? Because even at one point, Sophia said that my mom would probably rather adopt the baby herself before she gives her up. Okay, then give her that option. Then, like,
But
give,
then that's a hard thing for her to deal with, though. Like you have a baby and you're watching your parent raise a child as like your quasi sibling. It's
uh,
just hard.
I'm just saying. I just feel like after a while, Sophia's starting to be a little dramatic. I'm like, girl, you'll be fine. Like Brady and them have money too,
But
so
she's 17, so she's naturally gonna be dramatic. She's not there developmentally yet,
yeah,
like the
that's.
way everybody else is on canvas. So it's like she's been immature about a mature situation,
Mm-hmm.
and she's trying to be mature about it, but she's trying to find that balance and figure that out. And with Holly's going to be drawn now more towards Doug because in Holly's mind, like Tate and Sophia are having a baby, and that's hard for Holly to deal with. Because the thing is, like, when you're in your 19, your teens, and you're dating someone who has a baby, it feels like too much of a contrast. When you're in your 20s, you're dating someone who has a baby, it might still look like a contrast. When you're in your 40s and you're dating someone who has a kid, now it doesn't feel like a big contrast anymore because everybody around you is having kids, probably including yourself. So it doesn't feel as drastic anymore. So like when people are like, oh, I don't want nobody who has kids, but then when you're 60s, you're gonna date somebody who has kids because everybody has kids. You probably have kids too. So
Exactly.
the playground is like level there. But for Holly, she's not gonna be able to accept this. Like everybody now in Salem, the adults, they're dating people who have kids because that's just part of their territory. Everybody has kids. But for them where they're at, it's too far off of a reality, at least for now.
And Sammy
Not
says
Doug and his
he
booty.
has
Not
a
Doug and his
crush
booty.
on Tammy and Doug and his. Yeah, now, like, they're talking about because I came across a video of the actor playing Doug the Third by complete accident, though. I swear I was not looking for that. I was on Reddit.com and then they said, yeah,
I
Peyton,
read it.
what happened to him after his sex tape? I said, her? What do you mean a sex tape? And then one internet search and it came up. I was like, oh. He said, like, they was like, yeah, because it's like he completely disappeared
Oh,
before.
that's why you want him to stay on the show now. Okay, now I see the reason why you want to stay on the show now. Now that's why you see his great acting ability. Now I see where it's coming from.
Hello,
We've been
out.
exposed today. Now I see where it's coming from.
I just asked DC how he feels about the actress playing Sheila and Steffi being good friends off camera. How you feel?
I think I feel pretty good about that. I mean, naturally, it's always that contrast because back in the day, we watched soaps. We didn't know these people actually were friends in real life. Like Rafe and Sammy were actually really close friends in real life. Their kids play together, but people don't know that. Like just the way like Kelly Monaco and Kirsten Storms are best friends in real life. So it makes me wonder what Kirsten Storms thinks about Kelly Monaco leaving. So But yeah, some of these people have real bonds in real life, like Kelly Monaco, Kirsten Storms, and Lisa Lupiro. Lisa Lucero, who plays Olivia, they're all actually real friends in real life.
Mhm. And then Gemini says, I see DC been working out. I see the guns. All right,
I'm
DC.
trying. I'm trying. I'm just
All right, all
kidding.
right. And then George says, "You tell him the truth. You tell him the truth, Gemini. Yeah, because in that member stream when I exposed that Doug thing. Well, no, I didn't. I
this
didn't say
is
anything
this
about
is why you're behind him so much. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense.
what, but no, but I still was looking forward to him stepping into the role prior to finding out because I don't like Tate so much. That was the start of it. But then once I saw that, I was like,
He does
okay.
remind me of Michael Quartermain when he first came on, like when Chad Duell first came on as Michaal Quartermain, because Chad Duell was on Wizards of Waverly Place, I remember, prior
Yeah,
to GH.
he was.
And on GH, he was a little flat. He was a little flat on GH. He's grown into the role. He's made his own. They put him to work, but he was a little flat in the beginning. He was a little flat because there's some people like they're just flat sometimes as actors or in certain roles, or maybe they're trying to figure out what to do with it. But I like the new Tate. He the new Tate though reminds me of Jean Paul Lavoisier, who plays Philip on Days, and who used to play Rex and Right to Live, and like Roger Howarth. This new Tate kind of has their acting style, if you notice that a little bit, but he's younger, so we're not noticing it as much.
Mm.
You notice that, or is that just me?
Probably just you for now, but hey, he might have
And I
that.
like the new Tate. The new Tate is good looking too. The new Tate is that's that he's
He
cute.
ain't looking like Doug the Third. That's for damn sure.
He looks better. You're right. He looks better.
Lies and fallacies. Those are lies and fallacies. Now, what are your thoughts on Rita? I like Rita because she just is that sassy old woman, um, and I like her. There's just something about her that's just unique to me.
I forgot about her till they brought her back in. I mean, this whole Rafe storyline thing is ridiculous to me. So it's like I'm just ready for Carlotti's run to be over on Days so we can see better storylines because this whole thing feels so ridiculous. Like out of all the subs, Days was the worst for the week. Day B&B comes in at number 3, YNR at number 2, and then GH number 1. And for me, it's just like this whole idea of I don't know. We didn't even get a backstory with this. Like it's
Like,
like they're grasping for straws of storyline in Days. They're grasping for straws. I can feel
yeah,
it.
because apparently when Stefano did whatever from 15 years ago with the whole Arnold stuff, like I'm like, was anybody clamoring for this storyline to return? Anybody?
I was watching Days 15 years ago, and I don't even remember the storyline.
Exactly. I don't think nobody was clamoring for this storyline to come back. I mean, it did give
It was random.
Rafe a chance to show a little bit more personality because, come on, Rafe is very one note, but it still was like if that's all you need, then why couldn't Rafe just wake up from the hospital with a different personality or amnesia or something like that?
Yeah, it just feels too random. It just feels way too random. It was of like a storyline that they just put in there.
Hi, Francis. How are you? Um,
By the way, can I say something for a minute? I really love what you've done with your channel so far. I really love the growth, the evolution, and I
thank
just
you.
love the format that you have done. It's just so smart. Instead of doing like a, most of YouTubers do a Patreon and have you go over here and do this and buy that. Like you keep it all in location, similar to what Albert does, and I love that. I think this is just really smart. That's why I call it Clark Industries. This is
Thank
really, really smart of a model, and I think what you created, Robert's created, it's like something I feel like almost it should like be something that most all YouTubers should do, not even soap YouTubers, because it's smart. Like doing this is really it's a smart thing. It's a way for members to engage, it's a way to increase your revenue. It's very smart. Almost like you guys should teach like a master class.
you. Maybe I will one day. What I wonder what perfume is Daphne wearing if that's strong. Like, yo,
I love
Daphne
Daphne.
perf perfume that is way over the top. Every
I
time
love
you
Daphne.
use that, what do you love about Daphne?
Her mystique, her mystery. I want to know more about her. I want to know more who she's about on B&B. I mean, B&B right now, the storylines on B&B, Luna being what is Finn's daughter
Hmm.
is weird because I'm glad Finn cleared it up in like 5 minutes, saying like I'm adopted and it's also I was of age. But like Poppy was his aunt. I remember Poppy coming to shows like, "Hey, Aunt Poppy."
Exactly.
It's a little weird that whole thing, but I'm willing to digest it because it is being a beat, and I'm just like I feel like the writers did not. intend to go this route, but they want to keep the actress who plays Luna. And so basically, she killed Tom Star and all those people for no reason,
Mhm.
basically. And it's just like, these are the two interesting storylines because one thing I don't care about is Brooke and Ridge and Taylor for the 18,000 times. It's almost like
18 millionth time.
when I saw Jack and Victor on being on YNR the previews for next week, where
Mhm.
Victor's like, "What are you doing here?" Jack and Victor are like the Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor of YNR. Because
Mhm.
basically, they've been doing that Jack and Victor thing for almost 30 years. It's tiring, but they don't do it as much as Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor on B&B. The Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor thing, it's like, why do we have to keep going through this? Like,
Exactly. Like, we
Brooke's
all know at this point we get it. He loves Brooke more. We get it. Like, how many times do we have to keep going through this?
Yeah. And I feel like their rivalry can be based on something else. How about the fact that Brooke and Taylor share a son? How about that can be part of their new rivalry? That can be the rivalry for the next 10 years. Why does it have to be based off of Ridge?
Like, I really don't get the appeal of Ridge either. On a
Yeah,
good
me neither. I still see Zach Slater from all my children, by the way, when I look
right.
at Ridge.
But one more thing about Days of Our Lives. Do you think Rachel should be beat with a belt? Like she has gotten way out of control with what she's been doing lately. Like seriously, this is the second relationship of Brady's you want to run off. Like, but I really don't understand why they feel the need to make Brady and Ava a couple, or to really like they feel like I feel like they're shoving Ava down our throats at this point. Like she could go to and be with Trip and Wendy in China, and nobody would really miss her. So like they're like gasping at straws. Like if Brady said that Kristen's toxic, that's why he doesn't want to get back with her. Why would you want to get involved with Ava Vitale and all of her history of being toxic for all these years, all the crimes that she committed? Like you might as well. Why buy why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? You already got a daughter with Kristen, so what are you
I
starting?
mean, Ava's already been with Brady's dad. Ava killed Sean Brady Sr. It's just like, I don't get the appeal of it in a sense. So it's just like, you know, and the thing is, I'm guessing that lady is Rachel's grandmother. I'm guessing that's Kristen's mom, which
Yeah,
I'm like, there was no real good setup for this storyline. Like,
exactly. She
why do I
came in
care about this?
all of a sudden. That
And
was
if you're
just
gonna bring back Kristen's mom, you need to bring back Peter Blake. This was not a good setup. Not a good setup.
Rachel's a little psycho with a stuffed pet snake, and then Ron says, "Coach, what do you think about Belle and corrupt EJ Demera?" I mean, I guess Belle's just probably bored of Sean right now, so they're like,
But they're not together though, right? Her and Sean are not together.
yeah, they're not together right now. So she's like, she sees um EJ as a backup option, I
Her
guess. Hey,
sister's ex-husband as a backup
mhm,
option.
that's true. Hey Albert. Albert says, "What do you think of Daphne on
Not
being?"
Bostic Enterprises.
Like I said, I think Daphne is very over the top though. Like her delivery is so cringeworthy. Like I swear, on Friday's episode, I really tried to watch a scene of hers. I really tried, and then they just had to keep forcing it. Like when Herman Ridge was her and Ridge were talking with Steffi. I'm like, why can't she speak in a normal toned voice, but a normal conversation? But they just had to be like so over the top with it. I'm just that's why I can't take the Daphne character seriously.
But my question though is, why in the world did Hope and Carter let Steffi work at Force Creations? I feel like they really think Steffi's just there for the good of the company and not plotting something behind the scenes. Because when Jackie Maroney took over Force Creations back in '06,
Hmm.
none of the Forcers were allowed to step foot in that building. She had that when none of them could step foot in that building. And Hope and Carter, they're just this naivete with them, where I'm like, you're taking over Forest Creations. What is your plan? What was your plan? They didn't have nothing planned to do with it. Where Jackie Maroney completely, her and Nick Maroney shifted that whole company around
Hmm.
on its axis. So it's like, what are they doing? I don't understand it.
Exactly. It just doesn't make any sense for Hope to think that, and I don't understand like what Hope has invested. Like Carter, on the other hand, he managed to steal the company because he wants to do these stupid ass expansions and stuff. But my thing is like it's that money is still going to the Foresters. So like what is really like what are you really even if you did by miracle manage to make this millions and millions and millions of dollars, even still, where you managed to trick them out of the day-to-day operation, but the Foresters still own Forester Creations.
They
Like
didn't think this through.
it's just that money just still goes to the Foresters. They could easily decide to do what they want with the funding.
They
So
didn't think this through. See,
they
when Jackie got the company, she had them take over, sign for the company and the stocks, so they owned everything. But they didn't think this part through.
I guess we're sharing the same man tonight, Curry. You cool with that, DC?
Oh yeah, because I'm going to Albert's Live right after this. It's double trouble, double
Double
feature.
trouble. I don't get the hype about Daphne. She's average looking at best. Well, she looks better than Hope, but
I think she's a good looking woman, but then again, I'm not. But yeah. So I really wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know about a surface to me.
yeah, she is a okay looking woman. She's not bad, but she's just I can't remember anything Jackie done in Forrester Creation, but I do know she's Nick's mom. Um, yeah.
I mean, why not bring Nick Baroni back on the show, Ridge's brother?
Mm,
You know, bring back the Massimo Moroni, who was played by what was his name? The guy who played Stefano Demira played Massimo Moroni on B&B. So this is legendary stuff. That because I mean, like bringing on Jack Moroni,
mm-hmm.
and we can figure out where Taylor and Brooke are because Taylor gave birth to Jack, but biologically Brooke is the mom.
Yeah,
This is a good
that,
storyline here.
that storyline writes itself though. The drama with that, like,
Exactly.
who has kept in contact with him over the years? Like, did
None of
Taylor, did
them.
Brooke, did
Jack,
either?
I think Nick took him and sailed off in the sunset.
I'm just saying because you know how, like Brooke and Rich just instantly stopped mentioning RJ, but yet when they wrote it into the script, oh, I was just telling RJ the other day how much I missed him.
I
Like,
forgot about him.
see, look, see, we
It's all
just.
been about Will lately.
I'm just saying we forgot all about RJ again. So,
How much you want to bet Will and Luna are gonna get together? How much you
huh?
bet that? Will and Luna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because apparently they just don't want to go there with Luna and Bells, which thank God for that.
I'm okay with it, dude. I'm okay with it because I want to see where that goes.
That
It's
is true.
different.
I think inevitably Luna's going to end up pregnant with that Spencer baby. So that's where they're going with that. They're like, yeah, oh yeah, we're going to secure Luna's bag, which I ain't mad at that. The Spencers do got some money now, so I ain't mad at her. Gotta get her bread.
So
But
we know that Luna and Sheila are gonna be best buds very soon.
yeah, Luna and Sheila, and you know Steffi's gonna throw a fit about that one
Because
because
now it's not only his mom, but it's now also his daughter. How
and
do you work with
Steffi
those
Steffi
dynamics?
don't have that type of power to say to I if once he finds out that that's his daughter, there's no way that Steffi's little ultimatums is gonna work this time around. She's gonna be like, well, Steffi, that's my daughter at the end of the day.
What
So
would you do then if you were Steffi then in that situation?
I mean, she got to suck it up and deal with it. I mean, it ain't like those Foresters ain't done some crazy ass things. Look at what her bastard brother did to my Emma Barber. Emma Barber, Emma Barber would still be alive if it wasn't for Thomas. But we all have to live with that, don't we? Because Thomas was having
Thomas is a good man.
so if Thomas was having his issues, then Luna had her issues, and Steffi lived. She's all right now. Like you tell me, is Steffi waking up in the middle of the night scared of what Luna did? No, please. She ain't thinking not one thought of Luna. So get over it. That's how I.
You know what? What did you think when they brought on what was his name? Xander. I think it was last year on February. Last year, February, they brought Xander on. We thought it was going somewhere. Maybe they were gonna bring Emma back. What did you think about that at the time?
I just well, at first I was like, why is he back here? He was the most boring character ever. And then when he reminded me of what Thomas did to
He
my
got a nice, he got a low cut. He got that low cut though. He was looking good with that cut.
I'm just saying, when he reminded me what Thomas did to my girl, and I was like, okay, he was right. But you see, Finn was stepping out of pocket though when he was like all up in Thomas's face about Hope. He tried to make it about acting like he's defending Hope all of a sudden. So then that's when I briefly defended Thomas for a second when I thought Finn was out of pocket. But as far as Xander, he was right about what he said about Thomas. He is a demented man that is responsible for taking the life of a beautiful young woman that had the whole life ahead of her. She could have made such a big impact on that show. Now, if they do bring her back from the dead, I want her right up in right back in Forster Creations having a big role, and I need them to make this about fashion again, please. Like I thought Bald and the Beautiful back in the day had a lot of fashion storylines
In
and
what
stuff.
way do you want it to be about fashions again?
Like there should be like a new fashion house rival in town. Like revive Spectra or somewhere like that, and just a lot of the drama behind the scenes of fashion storylines and stuff like that. I think that would be really fun, like scandalous stuff outside of the same Ridge, Brook, and
Uh,
Taylor nonsense. I've had enough of that. So
I can definitely agree with you on that. I definitely because I think it's a time for them to do something different. I agree.
anything different, I would literally do anything. But shifting gears a little bit to the Young and the Restless. Are you disappointed in Heather's death? Does it feel disrespectful to the character? Because for me personally, I just like she died for no reason. Like Ian could have very easily just taken out Sharon if this is really what this was about. Like Sharon and Heather were not friends. She doesn't even know this woman like that. Like she only tolerated the only reason why she even tolerated Sharon um was the whole Cassie thing with Daniel. That had zero to do with Heather. Like, and the fact of the matter is, 'cause even Daniel himself said that in Friday's episode. He was like, um, it could like Heather's life went out like she was nothing though. Like this could have been about Paul, his history, Ian's history with Paul from back in the day, and he took it out on Heather. But no, like he didn't give Heather a second thought because you want to know why? Because the writers didn't have no real reason to kill off Heather. Then, like I feel like the writers should have had, since this story was kind of about pushing Sharon and Nick back together anyways, why didn't they make Noah the character that they killed off? That would have brought that would have connected all the Newmans together into the storyline. Like Noah's not
That would have been impactful.
that. Yes, that would have been very impactful. That's why Sharon's losing her mind and all this, and Noah was the one. And
But then again, no one would believe that Sharon killed Noah, though. That would be even hard to believe.
no, like no, not Sharon killed Noah, but like Ian made her go crazy. Like Ian set somebody else up for
What if he had
killing.
set Daniel up for it?
Yeah, he set up Daniel
That
for
would have been
killing her,
better.
and then that's why Sharon was spiraling like that. Like that would have been a more impactful storyline.
Yeah, because they haven't done nothing with Noah. So honestly, at this point, why don't they just like kill off a legacy character? We get a legacy death. We get a legacy funeral. Because Heather's funeral was so terrible. They had a little green screen behind them. It was just so not the best thing. And then the thing is, when they sat down Daniel, they said, "Oh, can't you see? Like it was all Ian Ward. He's going to kill Heather. And he drugged me, and so like all is good." And then Daniel was like, I still lost my wife. Like he was like, I still lost my wife. So like I get that like sharing your exonerating it wasn't you, but like my wife still died though, like low key. So
Exactly. Like I feel like that would have been a more impactful storyline since Nick Newman was all over the storyline anyways, and so with the rest
I
of
almost
them,
thought the writers forgot about like Daniel, Phyllis, and Lucy and that whole thing. I almost thought they forgot about them in a sense because it all became about Sharon.
all about Sharon and Heather and Sharon barely had any relationship. So it's just like it's crazy why a woman had to, and I didn't and keep in mind I didn't even like Heather. So it's like if I feel that way, imagine what Heather fans probably
And it
felt.
sucks that Phyllis won't be apologizing to Sharon for this.
Oh, you know she won't. She won't at all. What if Heather? It wasn't Heather that died, but Daisy had work done. I do still feel like they should bring back Daisy. Like now's the time. Daisy is
Oh yeah.
Lucy's biological mother, and that storyline will write itself. Though now that Heather's dead, Lucy's still young.
But you
So
got to bring Sheila into this though,
yeah. Well,
which
Sheila's
they
not
won't.
doing anything on Bold and the Beautiful right now. So
But according to Sheila, she only has one grandchild, and that's Hayes.
yeah, but you never know. This might unlock her into her and Deacon doing a crossover storyline, The Young and the Restless, for a while, and just to establish the return of the Daisy character, and then let Daisy and Phyllis fight this out. And I think they would probably, but knowing The Young and the Restless, they probably turn Daisy and Daniel into the new Jack and Diane. They all hate on Daisy, and then she's like, "Oh, I insist I've changed. I just want to be there for my daughter." And then Phyllis and all of them are telling them, "No, Daisy needs to go. Daisy's dangerous. She's this, she's that, X, Y, and Z." I think that what he says, Mister.
What is going on here today?
All right, this is what's gonna happen to you. Right. So,
Oh my god.
yeah, that's where he could go.
I love how you did the JLJ media method.
I sure did. I don't have patience for this. 1 second, I might have to refresh. It's showing all the comments. 1 moment. Let me delete him from this. Oh, and if you're still here, um, enough enough to be able to fuck your father. If
I
you're
was gonna say, how
still
gay do you want me to be?
here, I'm just saying. 1 second, he should be gone in any moment.
Is this a normal? Is this a normal?
Yeah, it's a normal life. It's a normal life.
No, not low live. This is a typical. Is one of your subscribers, a regular subscriber that you
I don't
see.
know who he is. I don't care who he is either. I'm
Oh
just,
my god.
yeah, man. What the heck? YouTube is acting
This
awesome.
reminds me of the Jason Morgan to my Diane who comes into Albert's chat. If you
Uh,
guys know who it is, you know who it is.
that is true.
All right, so what we were discussing something prior, right before that came up.
I'm done. But you see, but that just shows my growth over the years. Because years ago, I would have been much different. I would have taken that much differently. But now it's
Yeah,
just like,
because when it came to the Jason Morgan to my Diane, you were eating him alive in the chat one time. Do you remember?
oh yeah, with Spider-Quake. Yeah, Spider-Quake.
The Jason Morgan to my Diane.
Okay. Now, Spider-Quake is a good kid, though. I always knew
He
Spider-Quake.
grew, he grew as a resource. I'm proud of him. He grew.
I'm just saying, I knew. So I just took the hardline approach with Spider-Quake, but he's
I would let him back into the chat, so I was really proud of Albert for doing that. I had advocated for him.
he did that because Spider I kept Spider Quick around. I remember when I banned him for that 1 month, but I can't. But I let him back in because he's a good kid. That's why.
How did you remember to back in? Did you just go through the block list, or just like did
Yeah,
you ask her?
it's actually pretty easy. All you got to do is just type his name there, and then just unhide or press unhide user, and then it will
What
let
do you think
him.
is the hardest part about doing lives?
Um, you gotta. I guess the hardest part would be depending on depending on my mood. In the morning, like if I'm like sometimes like right before the live stream, if I'm like typing my book or something, and then
Hmm.
I gotta like quickly go into soap mode when I was just thinking about something else. So it's like it sometimes takes me like a minute or two to be like, all right, get right back into that. Be like, what's up, my people? Happy Sunday, folks. So getting right into this. That's probably be like the hardest. But outside of that, like I find it mostly um but it's always fun. I'm usually always laughing in these streams and stuff like that. So
How do you manage with being a student and then working and then doing the streams every single day, Monday through Sunday, Sunday through Saturday?
well, because my school was an alternative thing. So,
Hmm.
I mean, so it's like so as long as I get a course done every 6 months, I was fine. I was fine with that. But like right now, I'm in a mood. I got to start buckling down and getting those classes done like at least once a month. So that will
Gotcha.
play a factor in me doing a lot more schoolwork. So I might
Hmm.
taking a step back every now and again, more often, to make sure I'm getting my schoolwork done. But as far as work is concerned, I just that stays fine. And then I typically write my notes in for the live stream
Mm.
on my phone, or I pull up like the recaps of the shows while I'm also live. So if I look on my phone for a second and I saw and I'm reading the recap, I'd be like, okay, and then to mention this on Friday's episode and this and that. I find that very easy to do too because it's natural since I always pick up my phone anyways. Ask DC what he thinks about the controversial Lunar Finn thing. He touched on that earlier,
Yeah, I
but
mean, I guess the controversial part of it is obviously him being with Poppy, who he was raised to be his aunt, which I think him and Pop, like Finn and Poppy, touched on it briefly. It is weird because that's the woman he believed was his aunt. So, and then he called her Aunt Pop when they came into town, and it definitely makes it seem like Aunt Poppy preyed on him, low key, even though he was at age. Like the woman preyed on him a little bit. I mean, unless she didn't meet him until he was older, right? Is that what they kind of put in there? Because I caught a bit of that dialogue between them two. But what did they say exactly, if you remember?
I don't recall. I don't recall what they said with that, but that is kind of. But Lee and Poppy always kind of had issues with each other. So I don't know if maybe she did meet him a little later because Lee definitely had Finn since birth. So there's that.
Right.
But no. Actually, I do remember he specifically said we got close when you were moving in, when you guys moved in. So
Poppy's kind of a bit of a hoe.
Poppy is a hoe. I never thought you would say you would say that. I've been saying that all week long. I think Poppy is a bigger tramp than Brooke because at least Brooke, she's a hoe, but she goes after a man with money typically, except for Deacon.
And
But
Brooke secures herself. Poppy did
secures
not. That's the
herself
difference.
financially with each relationship. But Poppy, on the other hand, once she slept with Tom Starr, I'm sorry, like I can't ever look at this woman the same again after I know you did the nasty with Tom Starr out of all people. That is just outright.
But wait. If she did a DNA test with Jack and Jack is actually Finn's bio father, wouldn't the DNA test have matched in some aspect, given that he would share the same DNA as Luna?
I know.
If he's Finn's bio father,
I don't know if they're gonna do another twist with that and someone else's Finn's bio father because he never had no DNA test with that one. He just said that he was banging. I said that from the beginning. Now, all
oh
he
my god,
knows,
that's right.
he never had no DNA test. All he knows, he was banging Sheila back in the day. So we don't know with that one. So he might need to get a DNA test with whatever because he said no, I can confirm it's true. I got Sheila pregnant because I was messing around with her in the hospital. I'm like, you just gonna take her word for that? Because
Wow.
so that is an open-ended storyline with that one. So they could easily change Finn's paternity again. But if they were to do that, then who's Finn's daddy now? Ian Ward. I would not put it past them to do something like that either.
And bring him on to B&B.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them not one bit for them to do something like that.
Or maybe it's Bill Spencer.
Nah, it's not Bill Spencer.
Oh no, yeah, couldn't get Sheila because I'm thinking of how Lee's gonna know it's because if not was Sheila, so no, it could be Bill Spencer. Couldn't be,
Couldn't
or it
be.
could be Bill Spencer Senior.
That is true. It could be. And then Finn would have some. Actually, no. Like, how did Bill buy that company? He bought that company from his father, right?
I think his father, yeah, it's something like that. His father gave it to him, passed it down to him.
Yeah. Based on the look of Finn's face, it looks like he got some bad news. Yep, it seems
Oh
like.
wait! I do want to ask you, what did you think about the gun scene on YNR this week?
Oh yes. Now I was thinking. I'm like, think. Why is Ian doing all this monologuing though? Like he should have been shot more of them. Like you got Victoria standing right there. All the Nick, Adam, and I would have at the very least shot Nick as well because he would be the more physical threat to you right away. You let Victor get the jump on you, but you should have probably just shot Nick when you had the chance. But he kept doing all that monologuing and all that other stuff. But I was thrown off guard when he talking about he was in love with Jordan. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, where'd that come from? That felt random.
he was not, they were not in love. Like he would do nothing but threaten her and cuss her out every 5 seconds, and she would cuss him back out. Like, so I was caught off guard with that. But I still thought that that was an excellent scene, and I did have
I
that
think so
moment.
too. And all of it was Victor's fault because if Victor didn't summon him there, none of that would have happened.
Exactly. Victor was the kidnapper pretty much. So Victor, you don't get to play victim.
And you didn't tell me you brought this man in your compound and nobody in the security came to check
Hmm. But my question
afterwards.
for you on that was, why would Victor call Adam and not Abby? That is so messed up. He was willing to sacrifice his son, but not
I
his
knew he
daughter.
didn't call Abby. I knew he didn't. But then when Adam showed up, I was like, well, damn. And even in this situation, Abby's an afterthought.
Exactly. He was like,
Abby is an afterthought. I mean, looking at that scene, it was really good. I'm like, damn, this is really good soap writing. I was like, this is really actually good. I felt the intensity of it, but I still feel like it was all Victor's fault. Like none of this would have happened. And I'm like, the security needs to tighten up over the ranch. Like maybe if you get like somebody like what over there, everyone should be. Because Victor was right. He wasn't gonna get off the ranch because of security. But you mean tell me you had one security guard in there with you guys, and the guy just lost consciousness. I don't even think Ian Ward shot him. He just lost consciousness. So he was still there on the floor. You remember that? The security guard was still there on the floor this whole time.
he was still on
So, oh my god. And the family moved on, and they never talked about the security guard who was on the floor. I
that.
noticed that.
I just feel like, yeah, Victor started something he can't finish. But I know for a fact if I had that gun and Nikki Newman walked in that room, bow 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 bow.
But
That,
I did feel bad for Jordan though. I felt bad for Jordan when she died.
why did you feel bad for Jordan?
This was a woman who raised Claire, who was avenging her sister. We lost the plot though. I felt like it came cartoonish, and we didn't get reminded of how the fact that Eve treated no, sorry, Victor treated Jordan's sister Eve terribly. Eve was Victor's secretary. Victor had slept with Eve to make Julia jealous, which that worked. And Eve spiraled. She was the side chick, and she spiraled. And whenever they never even talked about how like Cole believed at one point in time that Victor was his father. These are all things that could have been brought up with the storyline. It was not. Where was Cole? Like if it because my thing is if Jordan is all about Eve, why is she not trying to connect with Cole, Eve's actual son?
Exactly.
There was a lot of things that didn't make sense. Maybe because of the contract negotiations, but I didn't get it.
Sammy says maybe because Abby wasn't on the ranch, but Adam was, so he didn't want to risk another unnecessary.
Yeah, Adam didn't. I don't think he called Adam. I think Adam came in.
No, he did. He did call Adam.
Oh, he did. Oh,
Adam walked in and said, "What's the emergency?" And
oh,
he woke Adam up pretty much to say
dang.
that was an emergency and walked him into that. But I felt like Nick was talking about, oh, me and Victoria, we either accept or reject you based off of your actions. I'm like, Nick, you are quick to villainize Adam in any situation, he's whether he's on your side or not. Like, which to
Yeah.
be fair though, like as much as I've always been Team Adam before, up until when he cheated on my girl, but who could truly blame Nick for not trusting Adam though? When
The
he,
same man though who saved his daughter's life though last year.
yeah, I mean, I get that Adam saved his daughter's life though, but prior to that, you also let him believe his daughter was dead at one point, right? Wasn't that Adam that did that switched out Ashley's baby? With
True. And he slept with the housekeeper's son to get out of jail back in
I'm
the
just
day.
I'm just saying, like you can't really blame him for not doing that. But Victoria, on the other hand, like I feel Victoria is more out of well, Nick is jealousy over women in Victor, but
Hmm.
Victoria is more jealousy about Adam's business acumen. She feels threatened by Adam's business accomplishments, so that's why she always finds a way to make him feel like crap because it just shows her insecurity in the business thing. I think like when it comes to business, like Nick doesn't have a problem with Adam when it comes to business. That's why when they were working together as co-CEOs, they worked just fine together because Nick's not jealous on the business front. That's more Victoria's thing. Um, but
Especially
Nick
on all this, I realized Nikki never mentioned her son,
really
um,
never.
Dylan, aka Jason Morgan of YNR.
She never once mentioned him. I'm like, why don't like you would figure she would be concerned by now. He went undercover in like what 2016. So I'm just saying, like, does she know if he's dead or alive or something? Did
Or
he?
he's in witness protection.
I'm just saying.
And then they never mentioned Noah this whole time in all of this.
They did mention him one time.
They did once or twice, but it's like if your mom's on trial for murder, you think you would maybe send a call to the house, maybe call, check in on the neighborhood once in a while, something.
Hey Darby, and then Sammy's asked, "Do you think they would have cared if Adam was killed?" I don't think Victoria would care much. No.
But why wasn't Victor? I think it would have been nice if Victor and Ian, okay, Victor and Ian were both shot, but what if they did kill Victor off and just make us think he was dead for 2 months? And they did like they did with Finn, make us believe he was dead for 2 months and then make him come back.
I
I'd be
think it
okay
would
with that.
be a powerful storyline if they truly kill Victor off while Eric Braeden is still alive and can and give influence on how the
The
storyline.
story's real.
I mean, not influence, input on how the storyline should play out, and see who's ready to take the reins at Newman Enterprises. Like, because Adam, you got a long way to go if you want to be the new Victor. You got to like find a way to finally get the town to show you at least some respect or some fear on some level. Because
Agreed.
like you be letting these people come at you any type of way, like Victor don't roll that way. So Adam, you're gonna have to step that up if you want to be the
Okay, I
new.
gotta ask you about Nate and the mysterious brother. Nate's brother is another Doug. Looks cute, but the acting is not there for me.
Yeah, the acting's not there
At
for
least
him.
you admit it this time because there's no tape to see. You're willing to admit it this time because there's no tape to see.
Oh god, yeah, yeah. Like I'm
Once
like,
there's a tape out there, now you'll change. Watch him change his mind. There's a tape that's out there. Change his mind.
no. He's not my type. So therefore, but to be fair, the other Tate wasn't the other. He wasn't my type on any other role until he stepped in the role of Doug the Third. The other one wasn't my type either. But I know for a fact Damien's not my type. But the acting's not there. But the story is still intriguing though, because I'm still wondering. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop where Amy's concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if Amy's faking her death for some reason.
Does she maybe even know that her son is successful and she's pretending she doesn't know?
Yeah, I feel like this is a part of a con story, and but I
Because
still
why did Nate even
what
agree to
the
lie
point of
though?
this though. Why Nate and Audrey? Because if that was the case, wouldn't it make more sense if they were coming after Devon? If Devon was their target somehow?
Devon is too smart for that.
Yeah, Devon is smarter than Nate with that, so I
He's too
guess
smart. Because the thing is too is like I'm wondering watching the story. I'm like, why is Nate agreeing to do all this lying? This is a bit much.
that is true. I'm confused why he's pretending to be Nate's brother. But like, yeah, because I know on Monday's episode it's gonna be like something with that where he's pretending.
They got the mothers from Half and Half on the storyline. I know y'all noticed
Yeah,
that, right?
they sure do. They got their mother to half and half. So it's like I'm intrigued, but I am intrigued by this storyline.
I
I
guess the thing
really,
is for me is like I like this storyline, but like the problem with the winners, Hastings, Chancellors, Hamilton, Barber clan,
damn.
Johnson clan, is that you see that's the first problem. There's six different last names. But the second problem is that there's no organization, I think, to the storyline because I think the biggest issue too is that where's Olivia Barber, Drew's Nate's mom? Where is Mamie? Mamie's supposed to be the next matriarchal leading these guys around. Where is she to cast doubt in all of this? She's nowhere around. And it would have been perfect to have Mamie in this storyline, doubting everything along the way or something. And I wanted Mamie to be the head of Chancellor. I really wanted that. But we don't always get what we want in life.
It is true. And then I have another question for you. Are you rooting for Tracy and Alan on The Young and the Restless? Because it seems like Alan just disappeared.
I forgot about them.
Like I feel like Tracy Abbott finally needed a man in her life.
I'm rooting for Tracy and Nate, though. I'm still rooting for that. 2025 is still here. We're still in 25. The year's still early.
But do you think it's Alan that she's been seeing, or was it Martin that she's been seeing?
She needs to be seeing Nate. That's a good storyline like that. Let's talk about this. This is a good storyline because listen, you guys understand the impact of that storyline with her and Nate and having a child together.
All right, now that's where
They
you
had moved
lose
into the Abbott mansion,
about them having a child together. You know damn well Tracy Abbott ain't having no damn
or
children.
they could adopt one.
I'm just saying, no, she's too old.
Imagine Audra being the surrogate.
What?
Audra being the surrogate.
Not Audra being the surrogate. Now, hey, CJ Clove 18, how are you doing? I'm like, now Audra, I can't believe I came in late. It's okay. Whenever you're on time, whenever you're here, you're on time. We don't.
Because Tracy and Nate, they have that. There's a chemistry there. I see it.
Have they even had one scene together?
We can start putting the scenes together. We can set the stage.
We don't. We ain't ever even seen them together once. But you did say that General Hospital was the best stories this week. So tell me, what was your favorite story of General Hospital this week?
I think Brooklyn pouring out her heart this week of just realizing giving up her child, what she went through, and I empathize with her so much this week with Brooklyn. And I'm guessing that kid is Geo. Because here's the thing, I gotta admit, it's masterful storytelling. Because at first when Geo was brought, I was like, this all feels so random. And I think the reason why I felt that was because GH was being so random at that time with all the storylines. I couldn't trust it. Because when all my children would do stuff like this, I could sit back and just trust it. Like I know this is going somewhere. But at the time GH was like here, was there, the hook, the this, the book, the nook, and everything was all over the place. So I'm like, who's the Geo guy now? Now you're another random storyline you won't finish, but they're actually completing their storyline out, which I gotta give them credit. And so now the Geo thing, I'm like, this is starting to make sense. And I empathize with Brooklyn because I feel like it must have been hard for her. And then seeing like her, she was so sad about Chase not being able to have a son, have a child with her. My heart went out to them, and I felt like that the storyline was written well. I mean, and you got to think about how this affects so many people. This affects Tracy. This affects Lois's and Olivia's friendship.
Definitely.
That's gonna be an aftermath of that. It's gonna affect Olivia and Ned's marriage. That's gonna be an aftermath of that. It's going to affect Lulu and Dante and Sunny. There's gonna be aftermath of that. It's going to affect so many different people. It's going to affect Geo, how he responds to the Q. Now finding out Tracy Quarterman is his great grandmother, right? That is, there's so much of an effect that's
Uncle,
gonna happen here with the
the
storyline.
Uncle
I'm liking
Sonny
it.
gonna become Grandpa Sonny.
Grandpa Sonny and Chase and Brooklyn. I'm actually really interested in them now. It's only took 3 years, but I'm finally interested in them now. And see, there's an aftermath to that, how it's gonna affect them, and then of course Chase and Dante's friendship,
That's true.
how that's gonna be affected
And
now.
now, latest, Cody and Dante's friendship.
Yes, which Cody Dante, not too concerned about those two. More concerned about him and Chase, because
Cody,
Cody's all over the place.
Cody knew the truth though all this time.
He did, and it's like for me just remember, but now there's all this aftermath, and I bet you Lulu is gonna be the one to find out because she's working for Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
and she's gonna want to bring it to them. And the crazy thing is, she's also close with Tracy, so so many dynamics are interwoven with just one storyline. That's when you write a good storyline when it affects 20 people.
It's true, but now it makes sense why Gio's been staying with the Quartermains though all this time. So now that at least makes.
That means Lois knows who
Hmm?
he is.
Yeah, Lois does. Lois definitely knows. But wait a minute, because it could be a possibility that Brooklyn doesn't even know that.
No, I don't think Brooklyn knows, but I think Lois knows.
Yeah, Lois. So Lois knows that. So that's going to be drama between Brooklyn and
But how did they set up that whole thing? Like, who was behind the setup of that? Was Tracy behind it?
No, Tracy doesn't know about
No,
that.
no, she doesn't know. She doesn't know.
She
She
knew
doesn't know.
she would have claimed that child somehow. So because
True.
that's my thing though. Like with this rewrite, I mean, I get the good drama portion of that, but let's not forget, like Brooklyn, you're kind of in the same position as Sophia when we think about it. But like from back then, but the Quartermains have a whole lot of money. Like that was actually.
Yeah, why did she give up the child? I mean, she had her father, Ned. Like, I didn't understand.
I'm just saying she claimed that because she wasn't ready to have a baby back then and blah 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 blah. But I'm like,
Which is true. I could see that.
but the baby would have had all the nannies anyways. Would have been right up in there in that Quartermain. Could have grown up right there in that Quartermain mansion. But for the reasons you said, all that drama is
But
probably
she had the money, but would she have the maturity? That's two different things now.
that is true though. That is true because we all know Brooklyn was a hot mess when she came to town. So
And so I felt for her. I felt like that was one of the best storylines this week. Was just, I mean, Michael getting burned was chef's kiss. I mean, seeing that whole help, 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 help. I was like, oh my god, like, I didn't see that coming. I did not, because I wasn't on the spoilers. I wasn't on no social media. I didn't see that coming. So that was like fresh. That was like fresh out the oven for me. Yeah,
CJ Club 18 says, I'm really hoping Geo ends up with Trina. Oh, absolutely not. Like, Trina got a man. Her man is Kai, okay?
I like
Like,
Kai.
I like Kai a whole lot. I feel like he'll find a way to get through this whole football thing because, brother, you would never built like no quarterback. So, therefore,
What I like about Kai and Trina is like Kai is not a spoiled brat like the way Spencer was. Kai is going through a challenge of losing himself, and Trina's trying to support him, and that's a real relationship stuff. That happens like when you're the partner you're with is losing everything they've got going on. And you're trying to be that support, and it's like for them, it's like you don't understand. They just lost their whole life, and man, it's a real. It feels like I'm watching a real couple unfold before our eyes. And yes, they don't have the super couple appeal of Sprina, but who cares? This feels like an actual real couple
no,
that can
they
get
will
behind.
be having a super couple of trips. They're going to be suppressing Sprina. Sprina is nothing but the
What are they
past.
gonna be? Krina?
Spencer
Krina?
is going to be in, could stay in the under the water where he belongs. He could drown under there, as far as I'm concerned. Everything always comes back to Sophia for you, damn right, because Sophia is the star of the show. Because I don't know why Albert had to get the character recasted because he did that. He went to oh
Wait, Sophia
so
got recasted?
yeah, Sophia. There's gonna be a new Sophia debuting on February 13th.
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't even hear that. I'm just gonna like go have
Exactly.
amnesia and become Mike from Nixon Falls.
I'm
Like I'm not
just
gonna hear
saying
that.
because now I was very upset with that because I have grown to love that Sophia character just the way she is. I have grown to love her. So the
I'm
new
having amnesia. It's given like
has
Victor
two
Cassign.
you have two episodes to win me over. 2 episodes. If you don't
Victor
win
Cassign just gave me the tarot card. I just
my
forgot everything.
friend, but Gio is not a spoiled brat. He neither is Kai. What how is Kai a spoiled brat? Neither is Kai.
I know George. Like I did not see that coming to Sophia thing. Like I feel like my whole world has been shook right now.
I'm just saying, I was devastated when I've been finding out about that. That's why I rip into Albert every chance I get because I blame him for it. So if you wanna have anybody to blame for it, blame it for Albert because that
I
was
will.
these producers trying to appease him. He was like, "Well, he's really not liking the Sophia." But well, I only wanted to get rid of the character. I never said nothing about the actress. I don't have nothing against the actress. That's what Albert would say. Now I'm gonna tell Albert, well, oh well, that's too little, too late. Don't be. You should have clarified that in the thing. You should.
He's not here for the romance. He wants the plot.
I'm just saying. He
But you
should.
know,
He used his power to get rid of my Sophia the way
and this is
she.
why I feel like with Trina and Kai, which I still feel like Kai's Isaiah's brother. Wouldn't that make sense to me?
He said, wait, CJ Clovey said I fell out my chair when Paulina said her and 50 Cent was getting hot and heavy. Lord, I don't even remember when Paulina said that.
I don't either, actually.
Why don't you use your superpowers to cancel Albert's ability to? Because Albert got to them first. Okay, Albert got to them first before I was able to do that. Like I could undo the damage, but I do have to give the new girl a shot. She has like 2 episodes to win me over, and if she doesn't do that, she's going to hell. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, the mutate killed it on day one, so
Like I
I'm
said,
open to it.
I will give her 2 full episodes. I give her two
And
full episodes.
and
I
new
will.
Gabby has warmed up to me. I'm warmed up to new Gabby, which reminds me, what? How are you feeling about the gates coming on?
I feel so good about the gates. Like,
Did you like the trailer?
huh?
Did you like the trailer?
Love that trailer, especially when she slapped the shit out of her and said, I'm here at that wedding." I'm like, I think I'm gonna like Maya's new character. I really will. I think I'm really gonna like her. I could see the pain in her eyes and the rage in her voice and that slap that she issued. I like her. So I really feel that the gates is just beyond the gates is really here to come. There's a whole bunch of haters on Facebook that talk about, I don't need another soap opera. Da, da, da. I'm like, bye. If you
Do you
don't,
go ahead?
if they don't need another soap opera, then another soap opera don't need them either. Like, bye. I'm just saying. She said it at Jada's bachelorette party.
That was a terrible scene, by the way. That was a terrible scene. Terrible, terrible, terrible writing. I looked at this and I was like, "What is this? Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing?" Now, for the Gates, do you think they have the potential to be on for the next 20 some years?
Absolutely, if they stay consistent, because you were starting off good. We got a good budget in the beginning, but if that budget goes down and we start making major downgrades and stuff, then that could get a little messy. But
Like, I am surprised we have a new soap in 2025. I am surprised that we're here, but we are here. And the thing is, I'm giving the Gates 2 weeks maximum,
mhm.
maximum 2 weeks. The original was 1 week, but because I'm like going to be out of town that week, I want to give it full 2 weeks to impress me. B&B is getting dropped officially from my lineup. I have to let one of the soaps go 'cause I'm too busy. And it's like, now the way I look at soaps, it's almost like a spouse where staying for the kids is not enough anymore. Like, you got to deliver. You got to deliver on some things. You got to give some service. And so, B&B has not been given service, so B&B will be the soap to go. Um, because I feel like the thing is with soaps that a lot of them think we're just loyal, we're gonna hang on forever and ever, amen. But like, you need to bring actual good storylines. We need to feel connected in what we're seeing. And for me, I hope that this brings back the competition, because when people are not in a competitive state, it's the same with dating. Like, when your partner is not in a competitive state, they stop bringing their A game. Do you notice all the soaps that were in the danger of getting canceled back in the day? They always brought their A game storylines. All My Children, Will Like to Live, GH, As Well Turns, not really guiding light, but the rest of them really brought it
Mhm.
because they were in the verge of getting canceled. So they're in a competitive state. YNR has not been in a competitive state, but I feel like lately it has been. I don't know what's happened, but they've been bringing some good storylines. Maybe
Yes,
because they see the Gates is here. It's like, oh, like other soaps can come in. Like, we have competition again. Oh yeah, yeah,
yes,
we do.
we sure do.
And it's on network. It's not streaming. Yeah,
Definitely, they're like it was time to step it up. Otherwise, it'll get stepped aside. So
and we got Clifton Powell on there.
they're good now, but Bald and the Beautiful, y'all, like keep it up, Brad, bro. With this storyline, you're gonna end up being canceled within next year. Watch, because the network does not want to pay for three soap operas.
But B&B is the strongest. Sorry, not B&B. Why? CBS is the strongest network for soaps. It makes sense why it's on CBS, because
Yeah,
CBS is number one in daytime, and they've got YNR. They've all these other things, and what made YNR number one was obviously cinematography they had back in the day. And I think with the Gates, because I noticed with the Gates, they're calling it the Gates looks like it could be something they could even stream on BET Plus, and I think that's the whole goal, because they need to bring in a primetime audience to the show in order for this to work. And even though it's a soap, they can't give it a soap name like Never Say Goodbye or Till Tomorrow Ends, which I would prefer to more soapier name like that. But I'll take Beyond the Gates for now.
yeah.
But they're marketing it. What was that?
I said I like Beyond the Gate. So,
And they're marketing it, they're giving it that prime time because BT Plus. I don't know if you've seen the commercial BT Plus, but a lot of the shows on BT Plus are very similar to that trailer we saw for the Gates. So they
hmm
know what they're doing. They need to bring in a primetime audience, but they're trying to bring in a primetime black audience. And now see, the Gates is on Paramount Plus, which BT Plus is separate from Paramount Plus, but BET is part of the Paramount family. So it's all linking together, right? And if they're smart, what they would do is if they'll show reruns of the Gates at night on BET or another network, that would be smart to bring in a way to bring in viewers
that
to the show.
definitely would. CJ Close says it reminds him of a Tyler Perry show. It does
It
remind me.
does, but Tyler Perry is doing big things. He's still producing shows. So.
He is he?
The writing could use a little work, but it's there.
Yeah. B&B is trash. They pissed her off with the Poppy and Finn storyline. Yeah. And now back to General Hospital for a second. Who do you think Avery belongs with, Ava or Sunny?
Ava,
Thank you. I'm like because
Sunny's
Christina
a
need
mobster.
to shut, she need to shut her mouth at this point. Had the nerve to talk about. Oh no, to keep Avery safe, we got to keep her away from Ava. First of all, you want to keep making this all about
Ava's house and just go up in flames. It was Sunny's. So
exactly. You want to keep making this all about whatever, but she keeps forgetting the fact when she keeps talking about my daughter. But you promised that daughter to Molly and TJ. You want to forget about that though, Christina? No. You act like, and you're the one that barged in Ava's place instead of that confrontation. You could have everything she said to Ava, which first of all, like now that's the one thing that I'll say about Ava. I don't know why Ava even paid any attention to that to get riled up. Like everything Christina said was public crap that they always said anyways. Like in the courtroom, they're gonna be like, she was never convicted of that, so strike that from the record. When she said, no, I'm gonna tell the judge that you killed Connie and you switched Morgan's medication. I'm gonna tell the judge that. And so if I gotta speak about my father, I'm gonna speak about you too. And then that's when Ava said, don't ever threaten me. I'm like, I don't know why you even got all that riled up. I would have been like, you know what? You do whatever you gotta do because that all that crap was old news anyways, and I ain't never been
Speaking of,
convicted.
did they ever solve John Cates' murder?
Huh? John Kate? Nope. Sonny's just able to walk free from that one so far. They never solved it. They never whatever. Like that was just ridiculous. So
By the
Sonny,
way, I was laughing. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I was gonna say, go
like
ahead.
Sonny, like it's so laughable that Sonny thinks he has rights for custody though. When all of this, he killed John Cates, Jagger slash his son was nearly burned to death because of this. And on top of that, you have your little heart problems. And you really think that the judge is going to give you custody? I can guarantee what's probably going to happen at that courtroom is Sonny's going to faint in that courtroom where his heart chest is going to start doing that, and then that's what's going to Ava for sure is going to get custody. That's why they gave Ava that new set because it's to set up her new romance of Rick.
Check this that.
That is why they did that. So
But you know
definitely.
what's genius though about that storyline? We spent so much time focusing on Michael and Willow's marriage. We weren't even thinking for the longest time about who was that was actually behind the fire. And then it was finally revealed that it was Sidwell.
Hmm.
So the whole time we weren't even thinking about that. And it's like, and then what had me laughing was when Rick said to Ava, like, I'm not doing pro bono. Why? Because we kissed?
Exactly.
Like, this is the
Like
only
yeah,
way.
I had the
I was
nerve.
like, damn, that's
Yeah,
messed up.
no, I'm deferring payment, but no, I'm not doing that pro bono. I agreed with him strongly.
Men will be men.
I got bills to pay.
Oh
Then
my
again,
God.
did they find out who murdered Austin? Exactly. That was the whole reason Ava was looking.
Cyrus.
But no, Cyrus was guaranteed not there though, because they would have to retcon that because,
But maybe they
Cyrus,
would just to tie it up.
huh?
Maybe they would just to tie it up.
Probably, but it definitely wasn't Cyrus though, because he wasn't
Because it
ready.
didn't seem like Cyrus was going to be his father in the show. It didn't seem like that they were going that route.
Yeah, it did appear like that, and instantly he just ended up killing him. So the police detectives on GH are sloppy as f. They are sloppy. And Dante getting all mad why Anna would take him off the case,
That made sense to me actually. That I totally understood it.
like that was just dumb because I've seen um, them get criminals off like that for technicalities like that on this show. Been like, no, because did he was he not present during the Ava Jerome trial when he said, yeah, you questioned Ava Jerome that night, didn't you? And he's like, yeah. He was like, yep, and then that got dismissed out.
He
Well,
shouldn't have been on that case in the first place because Christina was his sister.
exactly. So no different than this
Yeah.
time. Sam was his fiance. Hey Dolomedics, how are you? Happy Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Long day. Well, longer night as I'm typing. I've been typing this book today.
What's
It's
your book about?
all right. So based on the book is about Ethan and Roger. Ethan is a NHL hockey player, and Roger
Okay.
is a pop star. Is a huge pop star singer and songwriter and dancer. So what they're trying to do, we're trying to overcome their relationship. This has to be a two-part thing after everything that goes wrong with them because how their relationship got started is Ethan no Roger was sleeping with Ethan's half was in a relationship with Ethan's half brother Mitchell prior to getting together with Ethan, and not only that, Ethan was sleeping with Mitchell's half sister Erica. So that gives Mitchell three times the reasons. And before their father died, Ethan was always the golden boy, the favorite of the family. So now Mitchell hates Ethan with a triple passion for all that. So now
But they're
Rod,
dating, aren't they?
huh?
But they're also dating.
Who?
Ethan and
No, Ethan and
That's right.
Roger are dating.
Right, Ethan and Roger. You know, this reminds you of. This is giving like Flowers in the Attic a little bit of Bold and Beautiful.
Yeah, look, just a time. That's only their background now. Now they had an open relationship. Um, because when Roger's going around tour, he's still sleeping with a bunch of beautiful women. But then he gets because he got the looks, the money, the power. He gets to be real open with it, and whatever. Like there's no secrecy, and Ethan agreed to go along with that. But I think Ethan is afraid to
Losing.
tell him that he really doesn't want the open relationship because he's going to dump him like he did Mitchell. That's how he feels. But Roger stands by his man. Like there was one page that I wrote that I love it. Like Ethan was getting teased, like bullied really badly by his NHL team after they lost the game, and it just finally all snapped out of him. Like he's been holding back the last few years of how they've been treating him in that locker room, and Roger didn't know nothing about it because
Quick
Ethan.
thing, you know that what's that show called that they had on VH1 about? I think it was like the basketball team, and they had Jude and this. There's a gay couple on the show. What was it? What's it called? You know
Mhm.
what I'm talking about? It was on VH1 about the basketball teams, like a series they
That's
did.
yeah, Jude reminds me of
Hold
similar,
on, I'm gonna find out that. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna
but
find
I
it.
know for a fact I remember Jude.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
I
You
just
know
don't
what I'm
know the
talking
name,
about.
but there was
And they were on a team called the Devils or something like that.
was that can't be hit the floor.
Hit the floor. Hit the
Oh, what
floor.
it was hit the floor?
Hit the floor.
Yes, I
We both
definitely.
said the same time too.
Oh yeah, hit the floor.
Hit the floor.
That was a good one.
Hit
But
the
like yeah,
floor.
but
Yeah. That's what reminds me of hit the floor.
their relation, like I said, but Roger and Ethan's relationship, it gets real messy between them throughout that time. But I really my favorite page to write though was when Roger he was not playing no games. He was standing for his man now when he said because Ethan's like, no, don't tell them anything. I don't want to jeopardize my career. He said, no, I'm not taking no for an answer. So don't worry about this. I'm gonna handle this. He said he got his PR on the phone, he got his legal team on the phone, and he laid down the law with um with them things. And he got them to back off of his man, and they won the Stanley Cup. But then Ethan found himself injured. He had a real bad neck. He had to get neck surgery. Roger stood by his side, but then Ethan wanted to join Roger on his tour, and that's when things started going a little sideways. As you know, Roger is still he doesn't want to he don't want Ethan to rock the boat with how he's doing and how all his hoeing back in there
And
with
this
it.
is also a little bit of Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah,
You see all these elements
a
here.
little bit. But then this woman Rebecca comes into the picture.
Look, I
She's
just can't go out the whole plot now, everybody.
no,
They're
no,
not
no,
gonna read
no.
the book.
I'm not giving
Okay,
out the whole
okay,
book.
okay,
This is only midway. This is only midway
okay,
through the plot because it's not done yet. This is
okay.
going to be way more twists and turns. So that's why it's like. But this woman Rebecca gets in Ethan's head, and things aren't. I don't know if things are going to be looking good for Roger and Ethan after a while because when he gets this crazy ass idea of what to do with so yeah, like he
This
gets
is good. This is good, especially open relationship concept because a lot of people have that nowadays. So it's good to. I wish soaps would even. I wish soaps would have characters that would actually do that. I could watch them navigate that. I don't
yeah.
have the mental health for it, but yeah.
It's true, but it's gonna. But basically, what Ethan does when he basically takes Rebecca's idea, Rebecca's slowly, pretty much manipulating him, but openly, while Roger could see right through it. Ethan plays that, that typical naive thing. He's like, yeah,
Mhm.
but once that scandal
What
comes out,
inspired this?
it's funny. Like what inspired it was me reflecting when I came out as bisexual, and
Hmm.
then I always considered I'm like if I was to come out sooner, what would have the circumstances have been? So like sometimes in some of the characters that I'm writing, like some of the things were things that I feared would happen when I was younger. The
Okay,
consequences.
Agnes Nixon, I see you. Okay.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said, okay, Agnes Nixon, I see you. Right.
Yeah, indeed. So it's like some of the things like when I told you a little bit about what Ethan is like the bullying that Ethan's receiving in that locker
Mhm.
room, the things that I was afraid of, or especially what happens what Ethan does with Rebecca's influence, um, and it causes a whole public scandal and stuff like that. That was definitely a fear of mine.
How's your journey been since? Because now you've how has it been now for you?
But now, because now it's different. Like now, I can see having some of Roger's strength, like how Roger is, because at least Roger owns his sexuality now. So it's not like he's debating his sexuality or anything like that. But it's
Right.
just, but he still, I still do believe that Roger's still dealing with some internal issues, whether he
Mhm.
realizes it subconsciously or not. So
So
it's not
Roger is you.
like
Roger's a reflection
Roger.
of you.
Huh? Well, technically, Roger has some aspects of me. Some.
So it's loosely based on fiction, loosely kind of based on reality of
Yeah,
like a
like
little
very,
you.
very, very, very loosely under
Okay.
different circumstances. But the point of the matter is like over both parts of this is basically you got to see your partner in each other's shoes in order to fully do that. Like I don't want to finish this. That's why I want to make this a two part to complete the story on whether the two characters will end up back together or not. They got to really evaluate their situation and really understand each other and understand each other in a certain way and not rush forgiveness part and stuff like that.
Not rushing forgiveness.
So yeah, so that's basically
That's a powerful theme right there.
because they're definitely gonna take their unique journey. But it's gonna be a real good book though. I can't wait until that's
That sounds very all my children of you. I like it.
yeah indeed. And I like the
Wow.
uniqueness given
Not
there.
rushing forgiveness. Yeah, I think that that's a good thing to watch as your readers kind of go through that process of because your readers are probably going to want a solution right away, but making them know that some things take time. Like I said, agnostics and make them wait.
Exactly, they have to wait. So that's why that definitely has to be a two part because there's no way it's going to be anything like my other story of Mitchell and Mateo. That one was
You had
uh,
another story already?
yeah, I'm working
So
on
this is the spinoff.
yeah like this. They're both in the same timeline actually. So
Same
like
universe, kind
yeah, the
of.
same universe. So Mitchell is also going through a new relationship
So
with
it's like One
basically
Night to Live in GH, same universe.
kind of like that. But with Mitchell's thing, he's marrying. He ends up in a relationship with a current escort, and it's just like that's just mess. But like the Mateo character is very relatable now. Like the way I explained his character, I felt like that was the most realistic out of all of the plots that I did. And actually, I thank you for that because when you were talking about the Jordan character, when you were breaking down the Jordan character, you just made me because like before that, when I thought of Mitch, I was like, well, because Mitchell was meant to be a starring role in this one, I was like, well, his character's not really interesting to me without Ethan and Roger. But then when you really broke down like the Jordan stuff and how whatever, like I was like, let me think, what would that handsome DC say about whatever in your Kevin Collins voice? So therefore, you made me really. That's when you made me really understand when writing the Mateo character. So it's actually thanks to you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Before this, I
You're welcome on
had
that.
no interest in Mateo's character at all. I was like, like even when I was writing that down, I was just like rolling my eyes the whole time until I heard your voice for a second. I was like, okay,
So you got to start thinking about like a bigger
the
role
big
or representation,
picture,
like a bigger symbolization Mateo could actually have in the story.
yeah, the biggers. So yeah, so Mateo, but that's separate from that, but they're in the same universe though. So that's why like I make a specific point. Like one scene that I could talk about, like when Roger and Mitchell met up for dinner. Like I make sure that that is included in both stories in a similar thing. So it's like they're both telling, so you'll know they're telling the truth of what happened in that thing, and we hear it from Mitchell's perspective of why that got cut, why Roger left so abruptly from that, and we hear that from Roger's perspective of why Roger abruptly ended that dinner. So it's
What do
like
you want your readers to feel when reading this book?
I want them to just feel the emo- feel the especially well, especially with Ethan and Roger. I just want them to really understand the needing to learn yourself before and put your needs first before you could try to force a relationship. Like I want the lesson you can't you can't force yourself to forgive no matter how much you're in love with that person.
So let me
Cause
pause you there. How does that relate? Is there any correlation to that in Clark Industries world? That
the
lesson.
Clark Industries world,
Uh-huh.
who do you think is prettier? Oh, Audra Charles from Y&R, for sure. Audra Charles is way hotter than Amy Choi. But Amy Choi, she's a good looking woman, but Audra, that's whatever. Well, all right, how it correlates to Clark Industries is
And the
like,
lessons you learned, is there a correlation there?
I mean, because I'm one that will probably hold grudges forever. So therefore, it's like I feel like it's better for the characters to go through their journey to really truly on that true path to forgiveness and retrusting each other. Because if not, you can't just rush rush that. Because I'm that type of person that if I was in a relationship and my partner did something that was wrong to me, then if I'm that much in love, I may forgive you one day, but I, I would gladly be that type that will turn it against you in a second. Like I have no problem throwing that up in your face if it's not if he made me mad all over again. But that I only do that. I would only do that with my partner. Though. I don't do that with my friends. Like if I but technically, because I'm the type of person now, I don't really like like I believe it or not, I don't really like conflict like that the way you think you do. Like I feel like much better when something is resolved, but
Hmm.
I could still dwell about it and think about it and when it's unresolved conflict. So that's one thing with the characters, like when I really sit them down and have them hash out all their issues throughout the relationship, it's just like it does feel powerful. But one thing that I've learned from writing this story though is like when I was writing a certain character, but the Rebecca character, I had to check myself really quickly though because like sometimes it's easy when you write a villain,
Hmm.
it's easy to just try to make them as detestable as possible, but without like in throwing all that stuff like with my past book when I did with a character named Ariana that turned her over the top. But I really tried really hard. I'm trying really hard to check my writing in between that. I'm like, no, let me pause. Let me make her still human though. Like she,
So you want to give them layers.
yeah, I'm trying to give them more layers into as a person instead of just easily, oh yeah, she's just a manipulative, thirsty thought. I'm trying to give her layers though and reasons as to why she's doing the things that she does and making her feel like real human experiences and stuff like that.
Sounds like reminding us that that manipulative, thirsty thought was somebody's daughter, was raised as somebody's child, and both exist
Exactly.
at one point.
Yes, indeed. So that's one thing that I've learned with that storyline. I'm trying to do that. So I did come through for.
So there's so much. See, this is the thing. Like when I watch soap, is that people look at that a lot of times. It's great to hear you say this because a lot of times I watch shows, people I think a lot of times just see the plot, but they don't see the depth behind the
Mhm.
character, the story, the what this character represents, what this means, the the nuances. So it's cool to hear you say that with your story, as because even when you talk about the theme of forgiveness and how forgiveness can't be rushed, and reminding your viewers that this is actually going to be a process for
Mhm.
these characters. So it sounds like even for you, when you held grudges a lot in the past, is because your forgiveness was a process, and that seemed like that couldn't be rushed.
Exactly. It can't be. It just can't be rushed because you just can't do that otherwise. And I also just feel like their characters need to be fully developed. Like I want to see like Now I won't spoil any more of that the actual plot, but I do want to see like when if Ethan vows to make these changes of what he's gonna do prior to doing it. I want to see him actually follow through with it, not just at the end of not just say, oh no, well I'm gonna do this because X, Y, and Z this didn't go, so I'm gonna just do this. I know I want to make sure that he actually came through with it, and then they eventually learn to be in each other's shoes. So when you really like learn how to understand your partner and put
So
yourself
have empathy for them.
yeah, to have
Yeah.
empathy into the situation and be like, well, why are you this way? Well, why are you this way? So, like,
But what happens when the empathy is not enough?
that is true. Like sometimes the empathy ain't enough though. But for these characters though, in this story, they will probably make it work out in the end now because they'll really see the parallels of they'll and be like, oh, I see now. Like it was easier for me to get mad when that X, Y, and Z, but now you found yourself in a different situation. You can see how you both benefit from each other in in multiple ways. So it's the story is a lot of it's gonna be a lot of emotional things and stuff, but I feel it's gonna be a hit.
Sounds like it's gonna be a good
Um,
read.
huh? Yeah,
Sounds like it's gonna be a
upon the
good read.
LGBT community, we're gonna love this storyline because bisexual people are underrepresented sometimes in this field. It's usually always just black or white, but this one, it's
You
just
want to have a little gray, more than gray.
exactly.
That's good.
All right. Yes, indeed. But was there anything else on General Hospital? Or any of the subs that you wanted to talk about?
I think that was it. We actually covered it in tandem, like all of it.
Awesome. All right. Well, this was a lots and lots and lots of fun. I always enjoy working with DC. So, Sage. Oh yeah, I did say the next time I brought you on camera, I was gonna say that. Even though this is a there was supposed to be a members live or whatever. It don't matter. The truth, but I admire you, DC Soap Sanctuary. You really are very talented, very whatever. Like one time you inspired me. Remember when you went away for a while and you came
Mhm.
back like 4 months later and you were wearing that red, and that's when you came back. You were bald. That's when you were bald for the first time, and you had
I
that
was.
you were looking really handsome that day with that red shirt on that you had on and you were just like it was just like that the way you broke things down and you would just show that vulnerability. It was like whatever. I ended up having a 24-hour celebrity crush on you after that because you were just so awesome that day. You really were. You just like I was like wow. Because even like, because any other time when I would have a crush, it'd be something totally different. But it was like with you, it was just like so like you could walk on water that day. I was like, wow, you are just amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's
Oh,
nice to hear this is a soap community, even though I can't even get a date in real life.
look, I'm just saying, you are a good man, DC Soap Sanctuary. You are indeed a very good
You know what that
man.
reminded me of when Daniel was just like, my wife still died, and then Nick was just like, "You got this. You're a good man, Daniel," and they just walked out.
Oh, speaking of, did I ever say, but if you were Daniel, would you forgive Sharon? Because I would.
I think now they're even.
Yeah, that
I
is
think at
true.
this point now they're even. At this point, I feel like now they can let the casting go. That they're even now. They're even.
I
That was
damn sure
good
wouldn't want to hear about that Cassidy crap no more. I wouldn't want to hear
because
about
even though Sharon didn't kill Heather, she did throw her in the lake, so they're even now.
it. Yeah, they are indeed
It's
even.
even. It's even.
They are indeed. But all right, folks. This is our conclusion for tonight. But this was lots and lots and lots of fun. We will be back with more streams in the future. And DC, and if you want to see DC again tonight, join Albert's members live stream for $4.99 a month. We have epic members lives, and I will be in that comment section there. But have a great night, everybody. Peace.
Guys, we'll see you later tonight.